way to surpassing Tom Brady as the GOAT quarterback?
I don't know if he'll surpass him, but I do know he's ahead of the curve. I know no player, no quarterback, whatever you want to label it. And I've heard a lot of people talking about, well, Troy Aikman had 3 in this many years, and Terry Bradshaw had this many. How many regular season MVPs did any one of those players have? Joe Montana didn't get an MVP until year 11. 89 and 90. People don't remember, Skip. Joe came into the league in 1979. He won his first MVP in 89, his second one in 1990. Tom Brady didn't win an MVP until year 7 and year 11. Patrick Mahomes, both guys were in their 30s when they won their first MVP. Patrick Mahomes has won 2 MVPs, and he's 27. Tom Brady won his first 2 Super Bowls. Tom Brady wasn't the MVP in both of those. Deion Branch was the MVP in the second one. In his first 2 Super Bowls, Skip, Terry Bradshaw was not the MVP. Franco Harris, Lynn Swann, he won the MVP in the last 2 Super Bowls. So when you look at the curve, 2 regular season MVPs, 2 Super Bowl MVPs, led the league in passing twice, 2 5,000-yard passing seasons, 2 first-team All-Pro, which a lot of these guys had never been an All-Pro at that point in time in their career. How can you say somebody had a comparable career to start than what Patrick Mahomes is doing currently? So to say, will he pass him? I don't know. But I do know he's ahead of the curve. No player has had 2 Super Bowls and 2 MVPs at the age of 27 in their first 6 seasons. No player had led the league in passing twice, 2 5,000-yard seasons, the wins, the come from behind, Skip. And we look at, and you like going second level stats. So when you look at combined EPA, expected points added on defense and special teams over their first 3 Super Bowls, Tom Brady teams ranked 2nd. Patrick Mahomes' teams ranked 27th. Tom Brady, in his first 6 seasons, he threw passes of 25 yards or more 144 times. Patrick Mahomes has thrown 243 passes. Come on. So he's ahead of the curve in which Tom Brady was on, in which he became legendary, in which he became iconic. Whatever status you want to use, goatish. Patrick Mahomes is ahead of that curve, Skip. By any metric you use, Patrick Mahomes is ahead of the curve of the historically great players. Now, here's the thing, Skip. All the players that we talk about, Bradshaw, our colleague here, he can't add anything else. Montana, he can't add anything else. And Brady can't, well, shouldn't say it. We'll see. But as of currently, he can't add anymore. So you believe Patrick Mahomes is going to stay at the number of MVPs, the number of All-Pros, the number of this, the number of that, or do you believe he'll add? So with that being said, I think through first 6 seasons, I don't think anybody is comparable when you look at the totality. Now, if you just say Super Bowls, sure. I think Aikman had 3 through his first 6 seasons. He came in 89. So, yeah, he had 6. He had 3. You look at Bradshaw, I think Bradshaw through his first 6. I think he came in 70. So he had 2. But nobody, Skip, when you factor in regular season with the accomplishments in the regular season and the accomplishments in the Super Bowls, nobody's had a start like Patrick Mahomes has.
Yeah, just a week ago, you scoffed at the notion. You shot down any idea of Patrick Mahomes ever eclipsing Tom Brady because you basically said it's not even a fair fight. But it's not even fair to project.
Hold on. But we let Jordan become the GOAT. And he doesn't have the most rings. He doesn't have the most MVPs. So why is it that's the standard for Patrick Mahomes? Does Jordan have the most regular season MVPs? Or is that Kareem? Does he have the most titles? Or is that Russell? Is that any of the great Celtics that played from Havlicek to Sam Jones to Bill Russell? So if we use that metric, if we say Jordan is the GOAT without the most regular season MVPs, the most titles, why must Patrick Mahomes surpass Tom Brady in order to be greater than?
Okay, obviously, we always say about Michael Jeffrey Jordan that the era he played in, the competition was much tougher and keener than Bill Russell's competition in his era.
Well, if that's the case, the guys that played in the 70s and 80s can say, well, Tom Brady played in the era where the quarterback was protected so heavily, he was allowed to do things that we didn't get afforded the opportunity to do. So are we using that? I haven't heard people say that.
We're talking about Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady basically crossing over in the same era, so they got to play by the same rules, right?
Yes.
So it was a fair fight between those two.
Oh, we think so?
Yes, that's what we think.
Now, hold on now. We don't have any allegations of impropriety, of someone getting an unfair advantage. So what does Spygate play into that? So if we're going to use that argument of Barry Bonds and say he was tainted and yada, 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 or deflated, and look, the deflate gate, it is what it is. We'll never know. Was it not? I don't know. But I'm saying there is a level of allegation swirling around. One of them is factual. The other is circumstantial. So what does that weigh in at?
Okay, remember, on the night in question, the AFC Championship game against the Indianapolis Colts, when they were supposedly busted for using underinflated footballs, right?
Right.
What happened at halftime? They had to have properly inflated, right? And in the second half, go look at the numbers Brady put up with a properly inflated football. Go look at what he did to Seattle in that Super Bowl in the fourth quarter with a properly inflated football. It had nothing to do with the inflation of the football.
But I'm saying, Skip, just because you can, I've known people to do things inside of trading, get busted, and then come back and do it the right way and make a ton of money. So to say, well, he made a ton of money legit doesn't mean that he didn't make some money in an ill-gotten means. Just because Tom Brady had footballs that was properly inflated and played substantially, played greater than he did with the underinflated football, that doesn't mean they weren't underinflated. That just means he's great and he played well with the properly regulated footballs.
Okay, now it's my turn.
Go ahead.
This whole argument is complete blasphemy. I truly fear we're going to get struck by lightning coming down through the roof of
Tell me
the
why
studio.
through 6 seasons. Tell me why through 6 seasons.
I don't care about 6 seasons.
But that's what they are.
No, the point is, Chad Henne might have won an MVP in Andy Reid's offense.
No,
he just might have. Every time he played, he just lit it up. He played against Jacksonville. He went 98 yards. And I'm saying, let him have a whole season. He could win an MVP.
Stop.
I'm starting because, once again, everybody's being prisoner of one little moment on Sunday night.
You got 6 years of moments.
Okay, I don't care about the regular season. I care about when the money does get pushed to the middle of the table.
Not a regular season doesn't matter.
Okay, well, it just doesn't matter that much because Tom Brady played in an offense that was run-based for the first 5 or 6 years of his career.
Because you know why? Because Tom Brady wasn't the player that he later became. You had to play. Coach Belichick did a great thing. He catered a system that catered to what Tom Brady did really well. Yes, Tom Brady is a great quarterback, Skip, but Tom Brady wasn't what Patrick Mahomes is out of the gate.
Well, Tom Brady was a 6th-round pick that even Bill Belichick didn't see coming, and it took Bill a long time. It took him 5 years to say, wait a second, I should actually cater to him. Instead of my running game,
So,
we should start throwing the ball. And by the time we got to 2007, you know what happened.
Can I ask you a question? So if you believe if Tom Brady had thrown the ball all over the yard in that first Super Bowl, they beat the Rams.
Well, I mean, it was his first year of starting, right?
Yeah.
And so I just watched Jalen Hurts in his first year of starting, playing the Super Bowl, and he played great.
This is the second year starting.
Well, I mean, in his first year of actually getting to start. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
he
go
played
ahead.
last year.
Okay, I got you. But is his first Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So here's what I know about Patrick Mahomes. Going into Sunday night, Patrick Mahomes had played in 2 previous Super Bowls. He had thrown a grand total of 2 touchdown passes in those 2 Super Bowls against 4 interceptions. He was 2 touchdowns to 4 interceptions. And I kept saying, man, you're really overrating what he's done in the first 2 Super Bowls, because in the very first one, which came in his, second year of starting? I guess it would have been his second year of starting, but it was his first Super Bowl. He actually played very poorly until about 3.5 quarters were gone in the game.
True.
Because late in the third quarter, they're down 20-10. He throws a pathetic interception. Then early in the fourth quarter, he doubles right down, throws an even worse interception, and they're still down 20-10. And Jimmy G, as in Gag, could not capitalize on either of those interceptions. Jimmy G had the game in his hands, and he literally handed it back to Kansas City in the fourth quarter, going 3 of 11 for 36 yards with an interception, and badly missed an Emmanuel Sanders who was running free at the goal line with 1.5 minutes left. Maybe Patrick could have come back from that. But again, we might be having a different conversation. Patrick was very fortunate to win the first Super Bowl.
Skip, how many times have we seen quarterbacks hand the game right back to Tom Brady? And we never did that. We've seen Tom Brady play bad. And as long as he plays good when it matters most and they win, we keep kudos. The come from behind. Think about how bad he played against the Saints, but it didn't matter because he played good in the end. Think about how bad he played against the Rams, but it didn't matter because he played good in the end. Now, you use that against Patrick Mahomes. You said because he played bad early, everything that he did to come from behind in the 10-point win is disqualified because he put him in that situation. Well, what about Brady? Brady put them behind the 8 ball against the Rams. He put them behind the 8 ball
They
against
weren't behind the 8 ball. It was just a close, low-scoring game.
Skip, they were behind 2 scores. They were behind 2 scores.
Which game?
The Rams this year. No, the Rams this year.
I thought you meant in the Super Bowl.
No, I'm just saying.
Oh.
But so what I'm saying, and plus the 10-point game, and they came back against Seattle. Tom threw a pick. Tom was playing
but
bad.
that was this year. He's 45 years old. Okay, I got it.
No, I'm talking about the Super Bowl against the Rams, the Legion of Boom.
You keep going back and forth between this year.
No, but what I'm saying is that when Tom Brady comes back, we give him credit for coming back. You don't want Tom to get the ball. You better go ahead and put him away. Well, when Patrick Mahomes does the same thing, you hold that against him.
Okay. They were down 10 to the Legion of Boom, and he came back and threw for 124 yards and 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter of that game to bring them back from 10 down. Okay, now let's go to Patrick's second Super Bowl, speaking of Tom Brady, because Patrick just flat out stunk from start to finish, and he wound up with no touchdowns and 2 picks, and he lost 31-9 to Tom Brady.
Yes.
And he played way worse in that Super Bowl than Brady played in any of his 10 Super Bowls. Brady never played a bad Super Bowl. You can't show me one where you say, he just had a bad day in that one. He went 10 straight good days.
Skip, the man threw for 5,000 yards. The man had the #1 scoring offense in the history of the NFL at the time and mustered 14 points.
Against the Giants.
Giants.
Okay, but what did he do? With 3 minutes left, it was 4 minutes left, he starts a drive. He goes 80 yards for a touchdown, hits Randy Moss for 6 yards. It's what he always does. He won his first 6 Super Bowls with game-winning drives in the fourth quarter and overtime. He drives them down, and they go ahead 14-10. Yeah, it was a really good defense, but he did what he always did.
But Skip, think about what you just said. He did what